What is phenomenology? Phenomenology is a major strand within 20th-century continental philosophy, originating in the work of Edmund Husserl. Its primary representatives are Husserl himself, Martin Heidegger, Jean-Paul Sartre, Maurice Merleau-Ponty, and Emmanuel Levinas. It is conventional to distinguish between the pure phenomenology of Husserl, and the existential phenomenology, or existentialism, of Heidegger and Sartre, but difference of opinion between the latter two means that the distinction is not as clear-cut as it might seem. The term phenomenology derives from the Greek words, phenomenon, a participial form of phanein, meaning, to show, and logos, meaning, reason, or study, and literally means the study of things shown. From Plato onwards, a distinction has traditionally been made between that which can be seen and that which is intelligible. It is important to note that Immanuel Kant famously divides all objects into phenomena, that is, the actual objects of sensuous experience and perception, and noumena, that is, intelligible existence which are cogitated by the intellect alone, and which can never be perceived as things in themselves. Phenomenology can thus be described as a superficial description of appearances that does not provide an understanding of the higher category of noumena. The modern meaning of phenomenology is greatly influenced by Hegel's phenomenology of mind, which traces the emergence and development of the self-consciousness of mind or spirit, Geist, and equates phenomena with the element of immediate positive existence. Hegel's later philosophy of mind refers to phenomenology as the study of consciousness as such, and to consciousness as the appearance, or phenomenon of mind. For Husserl, phenomenology is a scientific project designed to produce a fundamental description of the phenomena that present themselves to the human consciousness. It is further described as being designed to establish knowledge of essences, defined not as occult qualities concealed within phenomena, but as the ideal form of that which exists here and now in this time spot. The slogan, "Back to the things themselves," captures something of the immediacy of the entire project. The starting point for knowledge in phenomenology, therefore, is experience, or the lived experience of the human consciousness. For Husserl, consciousness itself is defined by its intentionality, or by the fact that consciousness is always conscious of something. Phenomena are, therefore, said to exist for consciousness. Conversely, consciousness is nothing outside its relationship with the world of phenomena and exists within an umwelt, or environment that is always already there. In phenomenology, therefore, the world is the sum total of objects that can be known through experience. If the intentionality of consciousness is the most basic theme of all phenomenology, equal importance has to be accorded to the notion of epoche, or the bracketing out of all preconceptions, assumptions, and a priori ideas that might intervene with the immediate perception of phenomena. The process of bracketing out is obviously reminiscent of the process of methodical doubt that allows Descartes to call into question the very existence of the world in order to arrive at the cogito, that is, I am thinking, therefore I am, that permits him to establish beyond all doubt that he exists, and phenomenology has often been described as a new Cartesianism. It does not in fact call into question the existence of the world, but does strive to bracket out all assumptions, including scientific assumptions, about the nature of that world, and its major appeal is that it promises direct knowledge of the here and the now. What remains after everything else has been bracketed out is pure consciousness itself, defined as a phenomenological residue. The emergence of this pure or transcendental consciousness, and ego provides the basis for a new beginning. The transcendental ego ignores all presuppositions about the world in order to arrive at a new and immediate knowledge of that world based upon streams of pure experience. At the same time, it makes it difficult to demonstrate the existence of other streams of experience, other consciousness, or even another ego. The problem of the existence or non-existence of others, solipsism, is never finally resolved by Husserl, and remains a difficult issue for all forms of phenomenology. Although Heidegger and Sartre take Husserl as their starting point, they also depart from him in a number of ways. Heidegger rejects the idea of the transcendental ego as the starting point for a phenomenology, and prefers to speak of a being, sign, that is revealed or disclosed to human consciousness. He also introduces the idea of authenticity, which is taken up by Sartre, and the all-important notion of the temporality of being. That human beings live in a temporal and finite world means that their existence is dominated by the inevitability of their demise, or by their being towards death. Sartre, for his part, stresses that freedom is the fundamental dimension of human existence, and thus introduces the themes of commitment, responsibility, and bad faith, whilst Merleau-Ponty, unlike either Husserl or Heidegger, emphasizes that consciousness is always an embodied consciousness, and, therefore, accords much more importance to the physical body, or the flesh, as he calls it in his later works.